All right, good morning. It's Friday, February 3rd, 2023, a little bit before 8:30 here. I wanted to be ready for the 8:30 reset. Before that happens, I wanted to go over. I post this in the chat, and I'll say it in videos as well, which is, it's a giant video game, and what I mean by that is not just because it's done on a computer and there's screens and there's clicking and our interaction with it is similar to playing a computer video game, and our ability to interpret what's happening in front of us and react skills or video game skills that you use in a video game. But I also wanted to say that because although if you weren't looking at a screen, it'd be hard to tell somebody that the market and the way it goes up, if they're just like reading, say they got the like Wall Street Journal, or they just looked at the business section of their paper, the national papers, and just saw, the market went up, 100, 300, 500 points today. They probably wouldn't get the idea that this market works in parameters. It works with rules. There's limits, the way things move. And the headlines and all those things, they mean something, and they probably have a really big influence if you smooth things out over the year or even over 5 years. But the day-to-day movements and even how far it goes, the extent of the moves over the course of the year is still algorithmic. It still follows inputs and outputs, right? So here's the SPY, and here's the October low, and we have some 2 uptrend rays coming up off it, and then we're going to go back to, just zoom out real quick. There's this green one. This one comes from all the way from the all-time high, right? Back in January. And the story again, I know I tell it over and over, is I put this green line in once I saw we had 2 angles here. So we're talking back in March. We're almost a year ago, right? And then it came down. We had the mid-June low, and then we came up to the mid-August high, right? And it just nailed it on that day. And I was like, oh boy, it's legitimate. We have an actual long-term downtrend ray that the market is following. And at that point, I thought, well, we maybe have a shot, maybe a little bit higher low, come in here, touch this, and rip right up. But she sold off, and then I started wondering, well, where are we going to go? And if we didn't hold the low here, we had this potential higher low set in, and it sold off. Once we got to about here, I was concerned. And then I put in this number of the 356 low as the next level lower. And that is the anchored VWAP from the COVID-19 low. Now, we dipped below it, but it was one day, and I forget, there was some economic data that occurred. But notice, this was all pre-market. This didn't happen. This was, it already had hammered up to open and then went up. So it opened above the 356 level, right? And from there, she's been grinding up higher, and then we had the rejection. Now, this is almost the exact opposite, which was we opened up above. We were in the morning, we were, above. This is the all-time high. So, and then, by the way, these hit too, obviously. But we opened up above the all-time high, and we got nailed down hard. Slammed. Again, concern, where were we going to, hit? And then we came down here. We started forming, several days in a row here. And we just started grinding up. Notice that this hits several times. Again, pre-market starts to stick itself out, gets popped up, makes its way above the anchored VWAP from this high, gets above it, finds this uptrend ray, and then is closing above the anchored VWAP from this high. All right, and then again from this high. Notice how every time it gets above it, it closes above it and it comes back down. Now, yeah, it might poke its head, but it ends up above. I mean, here, what was this? Yeah, a few days ago, hit it and above. Why can't I move this? There we go. So. See how it goes. All right, we're having the 8:30 reset. Let's take a look at what that's doing. There's the 8 o'clock, 8:30. Now I get the bump. People ask me why do I always like fixate at the 8:30. Well, look at the difference. Right, nothing, and all of a sudden 8:30. Do you think that's people? Do you think everybody just sits down there and they wait for that last second there? And then that's when people trade. Now, yeah, some brokerages, they probably have, I don't know who or if there is any that start at 8:30 or 8 or 9 or whatever. But 8:30 is an hour before. I think that's probably that bump in volume and how it's happening immediately at that moment. I'd have to imagine that has to do with algorithms and computers doing the work. I don't know. Not really sure. What do you think? A little facetious there. So it looks like they pounded it down. That's what were they setting up? They set it up here. Now we'll see. Maybe we'll swing back once we get through everything else. Let's see what the Qs are looking like. The Qs have, yeah. So the SPY is having weakness. See, like, you can look at this and you're like, well, why are we stopping here, right? So if you're looking at the SPY, which is, I suggest being the first, right? Look at the SPY and you're like, why are we stopping here? I mean, there's some reasons. There's some support resistance here. But for the Qs, right, that's a hard line right there. And that has, if you actually see it there, but if we draw it back, several contact points. So I'll leave that in there. Diamonds. So here's the uptrend. Classic right here, right? So found a new one. Got rejected, opened up, got slammed down. Notice it broke through this uptrend. Now when it came up to touch that uptrend again, notice it couldn't get above it. Or couldn't hold above it. So it sticks its head up, failed. Bounced off this downtrend. Notice how here comes in, bounces off this downtrend. Gets above this anchored VWAP. Can't get above this uptrend, but is still above the anchored VWAP. Same thing here. Here, still grinding and surviving above this anchored VWAP. So it looks good, but at the same time, just notice how these, like, it's just dancing on top. It's just tapping. And if we probably do this, right, look at that. You're telling me that's not coincidence? Come on. See where this goes. Close. Top of the Keltner channel. This is probably pretty powerful right here. So it'll be interesting where this goes. See where this goes today. Let's see. Back to the SPY. Economic data, right? What? We'll see how it goes. Those are decent numbers for the. Yeah, okay. Give me a break. Alright, let's see how we got. Gilead, good numbers. Ooh, we got an extra 2 cents. Better than not. I mean, whatever. I'll take it. Love it. Still grinding up. Okay, that looks good. Takeda, how'd you do? Oh boy. Nice little hammer up. Looks good. Oh. I never get why sometimes we... Ooh. Gonna wait on this one. I want more. I mean, I like Santa Fe as a company, but I've been really just... It's been a blessing to take care of the Xantech Fallout. Loaded up and... But... I have to think about possibly booking some profits here. Should have probably, actually. See how it just was getting close. Should have booked some profits. Although it didn't hit my targets, but that's just a good... I mean, like, again, these bigger guys really follow the rules, and the fact that it ran this much over, you know, a few months here. Nah, well... She falls down, I'll grab it. I'll grab more, so... Yeah, there's ABBV. Okay, so she's on the top of my list today. Looking to sell some Henry Schein if we can get there. I think we got 91. 91. If we hit that, I'm going to sell. Which, I don't know if we will, but... She's getting close for me. Sold some Align. ALGN yesterday. Very nice. Good profit. Too big of a move for it to hold. I mean, it might just have a slight pullback and even move higher, but I still think it's undervalued. But again, just if the computer, if I believe the market trades and is run like a video game, there's points in a video game where it's you have to do something to keep moving forward and stay in the game and stay alive. You can't fudge anything up. You can't think any other way. The opportunity, it's built in, right? The input output, it's built in that you do something at this particular time. You jump this time to avoid getting hit by the car, the frog, right? The Frogger. You have to do it then. You can wait and wait for the next spot, but that's not, you won't be able to, you know, the next lane you won't be able to, you know, get across. This is the same thing here. You just, when it's time to sell and it hits parameters, you just do it. You don't want to like, well, you know, maybe I'll just wait. No, you got to do it now. It's when this is the opportunity that's built in right here. That is the rule. It will not go higher. Your feelings and thoughts don't count. The computers don't care about it. So you have to stop thinking. You have to stop caring about what you think. I like that. Most of these guys were sold off today, so they're just kind of seesawing here, I'm assuming. No, we got some of these guys sold off yesterday too. Oh no, no, not all of them for sure. There's some that are definitely that were up yesterday. I think Checkpoint was one of the leaders yesterday. Yeah, they had a good day yesterday. Notice where it stopped, right on top of the anchor, right under the anchored VWAP, or right on it. I was glad I picked that up a few days ago. KPTI, let's look at you. That's a good one to watch. I want to say I want to get more harp again, but I don't know. Just not really motivated right now to get the add to that position. Made a lot of money on it. I shouldn't say a lot. I made a good percentage on it. Should not say I made a lot on it. It was a small position, but it's house money right now, and I'll let it run. This is interesting. Where's the high here? Oh yeah, she was following that, that's for sure. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that, but let's see. Well, that was terrible. Don't know why you're doing that. This one. That's so weird. Come on, Trend Spider. Anyway, I think we can see it's coming down, and she rides right there. So I think there's another one right here. I see this one though. This one could be in control really, but let's do that one. Oh yeah, look at that. Still very close. Keep an eye. If we get above $1 here, this might start to move. Because look at the RSI trend, right? You can look at this and it's nasty, but it's sorting something out. It's trying to figure something out, and there's a setup here that it's trying to get. I know it's fighting something. It's got to look messy, but it is organized in some way. Keltner channel's getting tight, so at some point she's gonna have to pop out. Okay, so keep an eye on AQST. I'm gonna say most of the things I was looking at yesterday are still in play. So watch list is probably the same for this morning. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. We're selling off. Yeah, here we go. Okay, got her below 413, so... we were outside the Keltner channel. We're out about... I mean, it's... We'll see. Let's just take it easy for today. It's Friday. They're gonna make. I mean, if they might make a strong move, but if it's by like 11 or 12 Eastern Standard Time, and the volume's still elevated, just stay out of the way. And then if it's not, maybe towards the end of the day, and there's a slight grind up, you can probably take try to get like a small share size in the second half of the day. If you want to add to something, but it's Friday, and they might try to pull something off today. Obviously the idea is that the interest rates is probably not going to go up, or I'm sorry, is probably going to go up. Because good news is bad news right now in terms of the economy, right? Because it's too hot, if things are going great, but the inflation, so they'll grind it down. I'm going to stay out of the way. I have a feeling they just want to, pull something off. And the thing is even if it might just be could be a whipsaw. Could be, they could rip it right up in our face too. Because it starts off as bad, but everybody's like, oh no, there's plenty of jobs going on, so people are making money, people are spending money. We'll see. I mean, technically the added jobs doesn't mean that much, but the unemployment rate's still pretty low. So if there's jobs out there and people are employed already, if they're going to want anybody to show up and entice people, I mean, it's still the same level of people working. So it could be another scary idea that the salaries are going to stay elevated. Anyway, let's leave it there. I'll put the tickers in the chat. Nothing really to add here today, just some potential sells and basically everything from yesterday. All right, good luck. Stay healthy.